Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Quintessa and Gunner. I am excited to share with you today's chapter. I hope that you are enjoying the story. I invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy.
The wind is playing with your hair. I'm watching it painting circles in the air. You're smiling at me like only you could do. Like a perfect dream, and that dream is you. The sun is lighting up your face. We stayed up all night and listened to the rain. Like music kept on playing like a drum. With you in my arms, I'm the lucky one. And I wanna spend the day making love 1,000 ways and more to show. Baby, every time we're kissing, I know it is forbidden, but I can't stop. No, I can't stop. Your body's on my body. I know you really got me, 'cause I can't stop. No, I can't stop. Even if I'm trying.
Gunner. Tonight was going to be the night. I could feel it. I knew she was going to allow me to share the bed with her, even if we did nothing. I had to start from somewhere. After we finished our bath and was dressed, which she made me leave the chamber for, I found her sitting at the edge of the bed with her robe slightly opened. I could see the lacy nightgown she had worn the other day when we both had tumbled into the barrel. I felt my insides turn into mush, and I didn't know how to control myself. She looked at me with flushed cheeks and a smile that made me burn. "I'm sorry I had to make you leave. Perhaps one day when I am brave enough, I will allow you to stay, but right now this is all I can offer," she whispered. I would take it. I walked to her and reached out a hand to touch her cheek. She shut her eyes and leaned into my hand. This was beautiful, seeing her this way. As I leaned down to kiss her, a knock came at the door. I paused and my heart dropped. Really? Now? I ignored it and it came again, slightly louder and faster this time. "Should we open it?" she asked. Shaking my head, I replied, "Ignore it. They'll go away." And then Reese's voice came from outside the door. "My lord, I apologize for the interruption, but I have urgent news I must deliver to you." I groaned. I knew it was about what I had sent him to do. Why did the man pick this moment to come? I was about to get lucky. "Wait for me in the study," I said. "Yes, my lord." I shut my eyes and let out a soft groan. "Ugh, forgive me, my lady." She smiled and touched my cheek. "No worries. Go ahead and do your duties. I'll be here waiting for you." That gave me something to look forward to as I pecked her on the cheek and walked out to find Reese, waiting for me in the hall instead of where I asked him to. I knew he would knock again if I hadn't come out. "Reese, this better be good. Do you know what a husband does at this time of night in his chamber?" I asked with a heated glare at him. He paused, and then it finally dawned on him. "Oh, my lord, I deeply apologize. I did not realize what I had interrupted since you had mentioned that no husband duties were going to be performed." I rolled my eyes as we walked into the study. Whatever. Spit it out. We entered, and I closed the door as Reese quickly walked to light the candles and turned around to face me. "My lord, the black markets do not have any new slaves for trade. The same masters have all said no one has been abroad or been traded. I fear that X has kept her and the children as prisoners, and may very soon send word for you." I shut my eyes. That means she's being tortured, and the children are being starved. This is my fault. My lord, do not take the blame. It is not as if Mr. Arlington was a good man. It doesn't make his wife and children suffering at Axe's hand any better. Where is Dalton? Young Prince is keeping a lookout tonight at the local saloon. He will be there until dawn and will report back to you." "What about the cottage where Arlington lived?" I asked. "It was burned down this morning and nothing stands there but charred wood." I shut my eyes. This was spinning out of my control. I took in a deep breath and suddenly the good night I had going for me was lost from my mind. I could not do this and keep close with Quintessa. She could be hurt. Report back to me what Dalton finds. I took a deep breath as Reese left the study hall, and I leaned against the wall for support. The last time I handled a case like this, it led me to the lands of Switzerland, where I stayed there for half a year, under disguise to gain access to the ringleader. But last time, I was single and had no worries. If word should get out of what I was trying to do with X, it may involve hiding Quintessa, or worse, making her believe I didn't want her. She was an understandable woman, but I also didn't know her as well as I wanted to. My head was spinning as I heard a sound and looked up to find Quintessa entering the study with a dazed look on her face. "My lady, what are you doing here?" I asked as I straightened. I hoped she hadn't heard anything. "What is it that you do exactly, Prince?" she asked, startling me with her question. Walking to her, I asked, "What do you mean?" She struggled and raised her hands in confusion. "It seems that is the exact question I want to ask you. I thought you had imperial prince duties that kept you away from me, but come to find out you are running a black market for selling slaves." I almost tripped as I realized she was mistaken so badly that it painted me as a horrible man. I wanted to laugh, but I also was angry at how she made up her mind after hearing nothing but the truth. "Were you listening in on me?" "Kingsley overheard and reported to me." "Ah, Kingsley. I shall have a word with her about eavesdropping, because it's not only rude, but the wrong messages are captured and sent, like what you were told." She crossed her arms. "Really? And what part am I missing?" "The truth." "Then share it with me." "I can't," I said sternly. She dropped her arms. "I won't marry you." I laughed as I crossed the distance between us. "You have no choice. You have been decreed by my father, and if you disobey, it's a threat to his name. Will you really go against an imperial decree over something as small as this?" Quintessa made a face and shoved at me. "Small? You call lying to me small?" I grabbed her hands and pulled her against me. "Look, my lady, your little maid heard wrong. I cannot tell you what is going on, not because I don't want to, but because I am trying to protect you. The business I run is not for the ears of women. Trust me when I say that if you were to find out the truth, you might be shocked to the core. I am sparing you the details, and you should thank me." She pulled herself free from my hold. "I was beginning to soften toward you, my lord. I thought, here I am, so lucky to have landed myself a winner, not only handsome in looks, but kind in heart. Turns out I was having good thoughts too soon." "You will one day understand my purpose." "No," she said as she walked to the door and turned back to me. "I will never understand the likes of men who lie to get their way. I had enough of it with my father, and I shall never have it with a man who is supposed to be my husband. I shall go to the Queen and explain everything to get out of this marriage." "And how do you suppose you will pay the £4,000 your father owes?" I asked. I knew it was a low blow, but I didn't want to lose her. I walked to her and saw her face tighten with despair. "Tell me, my lady, how do you suppose to pay off that debt? The bank my father owns has proof of your father's signature, taking out a loan that is left unpaid. Where will you get that money to pay it off? You were supposed to be the gift in exchange for it. If you leave, you better have the money to replace yourself." She looked at me with tears in her eyes. "You're so brutal. I thought you were a kind man, and I was so dearly wrong. You are nothing but an overconfident brute with no heart. I hate you." I saw the tear drop from her eye, and she left just as I reached out to stop her. Quintessa. If you hadn't overheard the conversation with Reese, I would have married myself a wicked, evil man, I cried as I paced back and forth in the chamber, with Kingsley standing before me. The anger I felt was beyond anything I had ever felt before, and to think I had almost wanted to give myself to him before a wedding ever took place. I let out a deep, frustrating breath as I sat down on the edge of the bed. What kind of man had I married? My lady, please control yourself, Kingsley said. Control myself? How can you ask that of me after what I've just learned? I felt as if my body was falling apart, with all the emotions going through me. I felt the tears prick my eyes as I let out a deep sob. Kingsley came to hug me, and I couldn't stop once I started. How in the world would I live with a man who hid this part of his life in public? He was an imperial prince, and yet he sold slaves off the black market. How could I have not known the type of man he was? I saw right through his handsome smile, and I let him fool me into thinking he was kind. All his fake words to woo me meant nothing now. I need to find some way to repay my father's debt so I can leave this place. I can't be here, and I have just 9 days before the wedding. Kingsley, you have to help me get out of this place. If I am going to find a way to repay them, I can't be stuck here all day long. But where will you go, my lady? This place is foreign to both you and I have never been on a ship before. Where will we go? She asked. You mean where will I go? I cannot take you with me, Kingsley. You need to look the part of a worried maid who believes her ladyship has been stolen. I clapped my hands together. Yes, I shall invent my own kidnapping. You just need to play the part well. I saw a few ships docking at the edge of the water. I just need to make it there before I set sail in the morning, and I shall be able to go where I need to. I have a little bit of money that I brought with me which should be enough to pay for the ship fare. Kingsley made a face and shook her head. No, my lady, that is too dangerous. You cannot do that. How about I get Prince Dalton to help you? I mean, after all, he was sent to welcome you instead of his own brother. Perhaps he will lend you a hand? Prince Dalton. Yes, I'd forgotten about him. If he is as willing as I hope he is, then he shall be the answer to my new beginning. Kingsley, go find him and tell him I need to see him right away. Yes, my lady. Are you mad? Dalton looked at me as if I was speaking another language. He looked exhausted, standing there in my chamber, mooning over the plan I had told him. I am very clear in mind, thank you very much. Will you help me or not? I asked. Get you on a ship. Let you leave. Without my brother knowing. You're trying to get me killed young, and I love my life too much. He turned to go, but I stopped him. He turned back around and took my shoulders. Princess, my brother is a good man. No matter what your gossiping maid heard, I trust him. Of course you trust him. He's your brother, I cried. And he's your husband, he yelled. Which is more intimate? I clamped my mouth shut as he let me go and took a deep breath. Fine. I smiled. You will help me? Nodding, he replied, Yes, but you cannot go dressed like that. It would create too much attention. I have something for you to wear. Be ready at dawn before the sun rises, and I will have you on that ship. I gave him a hug. Thank you. True to his words, Dalton had me on the ship wearing what looked like leather pants, a white tunic, and a vest from cow skin. My hair was down and blowing in the wind as we made it onto the ship. Kingsley had packed me a light bag of snack in case I got hungry, and as soon as we landed, men with swords came crowding both me and Dalton. Oh my gosh, I whispered as I took his hand, shivering. I heard heavy footsteps, and I turned to watch as the door opened, and who should step out but Gunner, dressed in a vest and black pants that had me dropping my jaws. Gunner, what are you doing here? I asked as Dalton suddenly reached out and tapped the sword and the men retracted. The shocked look on Quintessa's face told me she hadn't expected this at all. Well, it's a long story, and I did it to satisfy your wife's anger at you. Honestly, you both should thank me. Quintessa stepped forward and shoved at Dalton. You lied to me. You said you would bring me on a ship. I did bring you on a ship. I just didn't say whose ship it was. You mean this is... It's mine, Princess, I said. She paled. But you are an imperial prince, who is also a pirate who saves women and children from being sold on black markets, Dalton replied. I watched as her cheeks reddened and she slowly let the words sink in. I could see the resentment had disappeared from her eyes, and I didn't want her to feel sorry in front of everyone. I took her hand and gestured for Dalton to take over. I could hear his voice giving orders as I took her down the hallway to my chamber. Once we were inside, she dropped to her knees before me and began to cry. I feel so ashamed, she whispered. I have wronged you severely. I shall have to beat Kingsley for hearing the wrong message. I walked to her and helped her to stand. Now, don't go beating her just because she overheard something like that. It is normal for her to save you, her ladyship. I won't hold it against her. Just what are you doing here? She shoved at her cheeks and sniffed. I was going to find a way to earn money to pay off my father's debt so I would get away from marrying you. Laughing, I reached out and wiped away a tear. Good Lord, do you hate me that much? No, I was afraid I'd married myself someone who sold women and children. You weren't very kind in correcting me either. I pulled her into a hug and whispered, I was afraid of telling you the truth, because the people I chased after are not always good people. I didn't want you to become a target for them to get to me. Please don't think I will let you get away without marrying me. I told you that you belong to me. She pulled back and looked at me. But I am here already. Well, then you shall get to know not the prince today, but just plain old Gunner, the man who dances in the rain and loves the wind. She leaned in toward me and gave me a heated look. I want to know this side of you. I like this side of you. I feel more comfortable. I cocked my head. You saying you don't like the imperial life? Shrugging, she replied, I'm not saying I don't. I just don't know how to act when I'm in front of the imperial crowd. I am always afraid I'll fall, or worse, fart in public. Laughing, I hugged her again. Oh, my darling little wife, you are ever the joy to my heart and soul. Thank you for tuning in. Chapter 6 will be out shortly.
The wind is playing with your hair. I'm watching it painting circles in the air. You're smiling at me like only you could do, like a perfect dream, and that dream is you. The sun is lighting up your face. We stayed up all night and listened to the rain, like music kept on playing like a drum. With you in my arms, I'm the lucky one. And I wanna spend the day making love 1,000 ways and more to show. Baby, every time we're kissing, I know it is forbidden, but I can't stop. No, I can't stop. Your body's on my body, I know you really got me, 'cause I can't stop. No, I can't stop. Even if I'm trying, I could never pull away. And when we are, girl, I can't stop. No, I can't stop. When we are, girl, I can't stop. No, I can't stop. Some people telling her to leave, that she won't have a future here with me. Though I've done my best, I've tried to prove them wrong. They ain't listening, but I know that she's the one. And I wanna spend the day, make love 1,000 ways and more to show. Baby, every time we're kissing, I know it is forbidden, but I can't stop. No, I can't stop. Your body's on my body, I know you really got me, 'cause I can't stop. No, I can't stop. stayed up all night and listened to the rain. Like music it kept on playing like a drum. I'm the lucky one.